Richard Price, welcome to Digital Farm TV. Can you tell us a bit about the Australian Export Grains Innovation Centre, which was established on November 1, what your mission is and what your role is within that context?
Okay, well, the Australian Export Grains Innovation Centre has been established by the Grains Research and Development Corporation and the Department of Agriculture in West Australia. Each of those two organisations have committed 20 million each in funding over 5 years, and our role is really to enhance the international competitiveness, understanding and value of the Australian export grains industry through science and technology and market innovation.
In real terms, if I'm a grain grower, either in Western Australia or even in New South Wales or Victoria, what does it mean for me in terms of looking at future markets?
Well, I think what AGIC, as its acronym is, what it's about is actually taking a market lead to research and development and innovation. So not for the first time, but perhaps a renewed focus in the industry of actually going into the international markets, our key markets, and understanding what the market opportunity is in the future with respect to the future deficits in those markets of grain requirements and the end uses of our grains, bringing that information back to Australia and hopefully directioning pre-breeding and research technologies and innovations, processing technologies that better meet that end requirement for our end use for our grains.
So I assume from that you're talking about producing soft wheats for sale into specialist noodle markets in Asia and areas, niches of that import, or are you talking on a more macro scale?
Look, I think we're talking at both ends of the scale. We are a commodity producer at the end of the day in Australia, and so we've really got to look after that end of the market first and foremost. But ultimately there will be high value niche product opportunities for Australian grains that AGIC will certainly take a very keen and strong interest in.
I assume the Middle East in Australian terms would be a mature market for a certain standard kind of grain. I assume Asia is very much front and centre of your plan for the future.
Absolutely, and we want to understand where those markets are heading from an end use perspective. So is the baking industry becoming more important with future growth than necessarily the noodle industry? And do our wheats, for example, really meet that end requirement when you compare them with other exporting regions around the world? So, and how can we develop our grains to be the most competitive and most compelling in those markets?
Challenges today are bringing the team together, transitioning from other agencies into under your umbrella. When do you feel that you'll be ready to sort of roll out the strategies you're currently developing?
Well, the board have just approved the first 5-year strategic business plan last week. That's out with members for approval currently. We expect that back very shortly. We'll then be able to communicate that to the wider industry. And we're in the process of transitioning staff out of predominantly the Department of Agriculture in West Australia currently. But our challenge is to become truly national and truly impactful across our grain sectors nationally. So that's where our first challenges as a business will really rest.
So the abolition of regulation in grain trading, is that part of the picture that you need to have a handle on how well Australian grain growers are making the transition into a free market environment? Is that part of your suite?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an area that we will certainly have to have a look at. And within AGIC, there are a variety of different disciplines. We've got the science and technology background, food processing background. We've also got an economics unit who can help assess the economic impacts of certain trading environments, if you like, and supply chain and value chain efficiencies. And then we have our market intelligence requirements and opportunities team that will be looking at the international market settings and the future opportunities for our grains industry. And our hope is that we're able to join all the dots up between those different disciplines to deliver a stronger and more impactful outcome for the grain sector.